What's your cat's name?
Billu.
Billu.
Chalega. Make a mention that you've been nominated.
I look at it as self-love.
Because if you work on your weaknesses, you just make it strong weakness. Devina, she's been in investment banking and she's gone into dog walking. She's been an absolute advocate in overcoming addictions. And now she's the founder of the Sexy Brilliant Global Revolution. And Gurdeep, an absolute people person who's self-taught and self-motivated in the art of selling.
How important, Devina, is it to value yourself first so that others can see and recognize the value in you?
So the value that we talk about is, I look at it as self-love. What is self-love? How much do you value yourself? And, just before we get started, I want to say that there is no right or wrong way to be. Self-value or self-love is not based on, comparison to anybody here or to what life is for somebody else. Self-love is something that we gain through our inner power. And for me, I have overcome many, many addictions in life, including dating addiction, including food addiction, and of course, learning addiction. And through my journey, my hardships, mental health issues, what I've learned is that the power to get to self-love is about self-knowledge. How well do we know our gifts? How well do we know who we are? And by that, I mean authentically who we are as children. And then, of course, once we know ourselves, do we practice radical self-acceptance? So self-knowledge and self-acceptance is the key to self-love. And also remember that no part of you is your own enemy. It's very important. No part of you is your own enemy, whether that's depression, whether that's addiction, whether that is a physical disability or something that's not 100% with you. It's very, very important to remember that no part of you is your own enemy. So loving ourselves through our hardships, our addictions, our mental health issues. If somebody's has a business failure, loving ourselves through that is what's important, and that's self-love.
You gave me a phrase as you were answering. It stuck in my head, Devina. Loving yourself through your hardships is self-love, which means you actually accept the hardships that are happening and you realize that there's a learning in that hardship. You go through it, you come out on top of it, and that sort of turns into the value that you create for yourself. And as a result of which, when you value yourself, you can give out that similar value to the outside world. Thank you. Yeah. From a sales and relationship building perspective, what are the top 3 soft skills one must have to ensure repeat business? A simple professional area, what would you value? What would you say are the 3 top skills in order to have repeat business?
First of all, thank you very much. And trust me, whatever you guys are doing, the Create the Edge series, I'm a big fan of it. All right. Remember this.
Thank you.
The top 3 skills, but before I say that, I would like to say a few things about sales. Sales isn't easy, guys. All right. It's super tough. It's a numbers game. You achieve your numbers, you're the champ. In case you don't, you're not. All right. It's pretty risky, but also fun. But I totally love selling all the time. And that's why it's clearly mentioned in my profile. Cut me, I bleed sales, no matter where. Right. Well, coming back to the point, the first point I would like to discuss would be keep every promise you make. All right. I notice a lot of salespeople will promise everything under the sun only to get the sale. All right. I will do this. I will do that. I don't know what not. Right. So first of all, guys, remember you got limits and restrictions too. You cannot fulfill everything what a customer is asking for. You just cannot. But in case you have promised, make sure you fulfill it. All right. Second one would be empathy. Who is a marketing genius? You're not the marketing genius, guys. Your customer is the marketing genius. They will tell you what they like. They will tell you what they want. They will also tell you what they're willing to pay for. But the problem is most of the entrepreneurs and salespeople spend so much time improving the products or services, but they don't spend enough time listening to the customers. So for God's sake, guys, listen to your customers. Find out what they need. Find out what they want. listen to the it cycles, listen to the pain points, what they need, what they want. Please ask questions, start probing, because it's pretty simple, guys. Without our customers, you or me, and I wouldn't even have a job, by the way. Be yourself, guys. Just be yourself. I would never try to copy Devina. I would never try to copy Joy. I would never try to copy Yusuf, right? Everybody's got their own strength. My strength is my tongue. I talk. So I keep talking all the time, 24/7. If I'm trying to be quiet and silent, that's not really me. So be yourself. You got your strength inside. Of course, I have a bunch of weaknesses, right? But I'm not saying weaknesses are not important. Of course it is. But I would rather focus on my strengths more than.
Well, and the weaknesses also deserve our love. No longer running away from our darkness. Weaknesses are darkness. So no longer running away from our darkness is also key. And sales is so about
Absolutely.
being authentic.
Absolutely. And see, I mean, this reminds me something, Gurdeep, like, you know, a lot of people say that, you know, work on your weaknesses, work on your weaknesses. I'm actually a firm believer of not working on your weaknesses, work on your strengths. Because if you work on your weaknesses, you just make it strong weaknesses to a certain extent.
Absolutely. I think, yeah.
Because, you know, as long as you keep on improving yourself, I think that the value that you bring out, which Devina mentioned earlier, the value that you actually have within you, you're able to actually portray that and bring that to your client, how you are actually being a client partner to them for the entire step of the process.
So anyway, coming back to the third point, and the last one would be trust, transparency, and communication, right? Whatever the circumstances are, be honest and be truthful. Even personally me, right? I try to put my competition down, saying, you know what, those guys aren't good, those guys are bad. Stop doing that, right? There are many things you cannot do. There are many things your competition is better than you. Be honest. I'm sure your customer is going to like it. Whether you get the sale or not, it's the second step. It doesn't really matter. Be honest with the customer. That's the most important thing. This is my experience, my 15 years of selling. These are the only three things which has really worked for me pretty well. And that's the only reason where I am today, because of these three things. Apart from this, everybody can talk. Yeah.
I want to add something. And to anybody who's sending sales pitches, especially on LinkedIn or on email, please personalize the invitation. Please, please, please say, take my name. You know, be mindful, and that's the connection. We all want human connection. We are, you know, the time of cold selling or cold calling, it doesn't work anymore. We want human connection. Stories are what's connecting us right now. So personalize. Before you sell me something, look at what you're selling me. Look at whether it's actually, you know, whether I'm gonna. If you're selling me something for example, I'm single. If you're selling me something for a couple, it's not gonna work. Just as an example.
Know your market.
Okay.
Coming back, Gurdeep, brilliant. I mean, you just put forth why you write I Bleed Sales. You've given, you know, you're right. Sales is all about numbers, but there is so much of empathy and authenticity coming out from what you've just shared from the perspective of a sales professional. This is the edge. This is what separates the great from the good. I'm listening to you and I'm saying, I want to work with Gurdeep. If I had a sale, because I love Yusuf. Yusuf's one of the best sales dudes I know on LinkedIn. And you're coming in now. And I'm saying, if I have Gurdeep to work the idea out, I don't have to worry about what's a product or what's the service. I know the relationship connect that's going to happen is going to bring me repeat business. And you've just highlighted those in your 3 points. Thank you so much. It's amazing. It's really nice.
It was an absolute pleasure, Gurdeep and Devina. We really appreciate your time and your amazing insights and your candor. And we look forward to our continuing interactions moving forward. Gurdeep, all the best to you for your amazing journey in connecting people to their purpose. And Devina, we wish whatever you're doing, especially regarding Sexy Brilliant, moving forward. So
thank you so much.
Keep up the amazing work, and it's an absolute pleasure to call you family. Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.